Dawn crossbow builds, yeah.
Hello world, welcome to Grim Dawn Crossbow Builds, where all we talk about are crossbow builds for Grim Dawn. Today's character is a Pyromancer, which is the combination of an occultist and a demolitionist. This is a Chaos Dreeg's Evil Eye build, with the Solael Devourer crossbow and the Ember's Calling set from the Shattered Realm. Blood of Dreeg is our healing buff, Dreeg's Evil Eye is on left click, and we have Thermite Mine and Curse of Frailty for chaos resistance reduction. Let's look at our skills. Dreeg's Evil Eye is our main attack with the entire line hard capped. The base skill activates Eldritch Fire for chaos resistance reduction. All of our acid and vitality damage is converted to chaos. However, our poison and vitality decay damage are not converted because chaos has no damage over time. The first modifier, Blood Burst, gives us 85% weapon damage, which is very good with our crossbow. We are not using the Focused Gaze Transmuter, instead going for the spam version with maximum cast speed. Terrifying Gaze, the second modifier, gives us flat damage, crit damage, and crowd control effects. And the last modifier, Vile Eruption, gives us flat damage and AoE. Our exclusive aura is Possession, which scales our chaos damage and gives global damage absorption. Turtle Shell is bound to this. Our second aura is Solael's Witchfire, offering chaos damage and defensive ability. Because of Blood Burst, 85% of this flat chaos damage is added to our attack. Wayward Soul is bound to the Witchfire. Its modifier, Second Right, is just above the soft cap, giving more flat damage and crit damage. Our third aura and healing spell is Blood of Dreeg, giving OA, health regen, and more flat damage. While Aspect of the Guardian gives us all of our acid resistance and some physical resistance. Our first debuff spell is Curse of Frailty, which slows enemies and activates the Hungering Void proc. Its modifier, Vulnerability, lowers enemy DA and now includes chaos resistance reduction, making it very important for this build. Our support mastery is the Demolitionist, and the main thing we care about here is Thermite Mine. We just have 1 point in the base skill, but Hellfire Mine is near the hard cap, giving us a ton of chaos resistance reduction. The other major contribution of the Demolitionist is Blast Shield, which greatly improves our survivability. The flat damage absorption here and on the Turtle Shell proc works very well with the percentage-based damage absorption of the Possession aura. Lastly, we have a few points in the Demolitionist's auras. Flame Touched gives OA and flat fire damage, which we are mostly converting to chaos, and Temper gives DA and physical damage. The physical is not being converted, but it's probably still worth picking up. Our last aura, Vindictive Flame, has a little bit of investment in it for the health regen and total speed. This helps us cap our casting speed. Its modifier, Ulzuin's Wrath, is worth at least 1 point for the crowd control effects. Let's check out our devotions. Our end goal here is Dying God, with many other useful things along the way. I should say that while leveling with Dreeg's Evil Eye, you'll have to use acid or vitality damage. However, most of these constellations are damage agnostic, so you'll get use out of them anyway. You might start with a point in red to pick up the Viper. This gives us Energy Leech, which is very needed on this build, and provides blue and red affinity points. A point in yellow opens up the Tortoise, and the Turtle Shell is useful from early game to end game. A point in purple opens up the Empty Throne for resistances, and a point in green opens up the Spider for casting speed and green points. Then you'll be able to take the Kraken for damage and health, Chariot of the Dead for OA and a defensive proc, and Hydra for casting speed and OA. If you're leveling with Acid Dreeg's Evil Eye, which is probably your best bet, then you can go down here and take Murmur for the acid resistance reduction. Later on, when you switch to chaos damage, you can refund that and take Solael's Witchblade instead. We are also using Harvestman's Scythe for some great defensive bonuses and stats, and Solemn Watcher for physique and DA. Whenever you're ready to switch over to chaos damage, you can refund your points at the crossroads, refund the Spider, and start building out Dying God. This greatly buffs our OA, DA, and chaos damage, and the active health cost on the proc is pretty much neutralized by our health regen from Blood of Dreeg and Vindictive Flame. Lastly, we have 1 point in Revenant because this build is still energy hungry even at endgame. Let's talk about our items. Our weapon is Solael's Devourer, which comes from a faction blueprint sold by the Solael cult. It's got +2 to all occultist skills, extra chaos resistance shred on thermite mine, generic resistance shred, and a bunch of casting speed and chaos damage. We are pairing this with the Ember's Calling set, which supports both our masteries and gives chaos and burn damage to Dreeg's Evil Eye. It's also got that ever-elusive total damage modifier, which more than doubles our damage output. This set occupies the helm, shoulder, metal, and chest piece slots. While this set is already very powerful, the secret sauce for this build is our amulet. This is the Conduit of Eldritch Whispers, which fully converts all of the base damage on Dreeg's Evil Eye to chaos and gives an additional 20% total damage modifier. Between this and the set, we have our total damage modified by 48%. The blueprint for these amulets can be sold by the vendor in the Morganeth Skeleton Key area. They're pretty expensive to make, so you'll probably have to farm for Ugden Blooms and Iron Bits in order to craft them. You have a 1 in 8 chance of getting the Chaos Dreeg's Evil Eye affix. Because of the rarity and cost of this item and also of the set, this is not a beginner build. It will require many hours to farm. The set drops only from the Shattered Realm, so you're not going to get it anywhere else. For rings, we've got Void Heart, which is pretty standard for a Chaos build. This converts some of our fire to chaos, buffs possession, and gives the Curse of the Void proc. We've also got the mythical Ring of Eternal Rot, which might seem strange because it buffs acid and not chaos damage, but it gives us a bunch of health and allows us to cap Vile Eruption. The points in vulnerability are also helpful. In the glove slot, you can use anything that's chaos damage oriented. I'm using the Void Rend Talons for the points in possession. You could also use something like the Void Steel Gauntlets or some crafted gloves. The boot slot is also flexible. I landed on an awesome double rare while crafting Intrepid War Boots, so of course I'm using those. The suffix of Dreeg's Gaze allows us to cap Bloodburst. If you're not so lucky with your crafting, you can also use the mythical Stone Shredders. These will hard cap Bloodburst as well. Our belt is the mythical Sash of the Bloodlord. We have some fire damage added to our attack by our set, and this helps to convert it to chaos. It also buffs Hellfire Mine. Our relic is the Eldritch Pact, buffing our chaos damage and our health regen. It's also got a very nice offensive proc. And our pants are the Venom Skin Leg Wraps. These don't buff our chaos damage, but they're great defensively, and they add 6 points to the Dreeg's Evil Eye line, allowing us to hard cap Bloodburst and Vile Eruption. And now for a few words on leveling. This build does not exist before level 94, and you'll probably be level 100 for quite a while before you get all this gear together. So feel free to level this in any way that strikes your fancy. I basically leveled this as an occultist monoclass using Acid Dreeg's Evil Eye. This is very similar to the endgame play style. I used a merit to enter Forgotten Gods early and farm Crimson's Vile Scepter. This is the best weapon for leveling Acid Evil Eye. On the offhand, you could use a Leaf Mane Horn from Ugdenbog. This converts all vitality to acid. You'll need some points in Spirit though. One of the benefits to using our crossbow is that we can get away with a lower Spirit stat. Another good offhand, available much earlier in the game, is the Grobel Toxic Effigy. This can be found in the Burwitch outskirts areas, although it has a frustratingly low drop rate. Your amulet will probably be Ronoprax's Sting. This comes from an insect boss in Act 2. And your metal will probably be the Basilisk Fang, also from Ugdenbog. For rings, you can use faction gear or a creeping ring from Ugdenbog. If you get lucky like I did, you might find a low-level version of the Ring of Eternal Rot also. The Rovers have a good Acid and Chaos occultist belt, and the Ethereals near Homestead will drop a Flesh-Warped Plate Mail, which buffs vulnerability. For shoulders, you might consider the Corvin Pauldrons from Forgotten Gods, which give a nice boost to Dreeg's Evil Eye. For your other slots, random rares, faction gear, and hidden path pants are probably your best options. I was using Black Legion boots, Homestead gloves, and a Barrowholm helm. It's probably worth going friendly with Barrowholm on this character. That'll also allow you to fight the Ravager later if you want to. This build can definitely do it. Let's check out an SR run. I've been running some pretty high shards on this character, so I'm going to show SR 34 instead of 30.